I'm going to start in child's pose myself. You can start seated upright, laying down, or you can join me in child's pose. So you take your knees wide, big toes to touch, send the hips back. Arms are nice and long, and you surrender your forehead to the mat. Good morning and welcome to 9 a.m. Flow. Let's get moving a little bit here, shall we? If you want to, feel free to drop a comment and say hello. I'd appreciate it. It's always good to hear who's out there today. So come out of child's pose. Press weight into your hands and then shift your weight forward. Bring your knees back underneath your hip points. Your feet are still, the tops of your feet are flat against the mat, pressing into it to activate the backs of the legs, as well as the front of the legs. Go ahead and check to make sure that your wrists are stacked directly under your shoulders. And we'll inhale, lift the heart, tip the tailbone up. Exhale, push the mat away from you, round through the spine. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, push and round. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push and round. Going through this a few more times to your own breath. And then coming back to stillness. Reach your hands a little bit forward, about one whole hand length forward. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, send them on back. If you need to pedal out your legs at this time, that's absolutely fine. If you want to come up to your tippy toes, on an inhale, glide forward to upper push-up position. And then if you need to readjust your hands and feet at this time, that's a great time to do it. And then on an exhale, you can send the hips right back. And that's how you measure your down dog and your plank, is by gliding forward on an inhale, making sure that you're nice and stacked. If you need to move your feet back, go ahead. And then exhale, send the hips back, lift them high. And in this down dog, I want you to pause and breathe and feel the different areas of your body that might be coming to your attention. I'm doing a lot of pausing today, a lot of feeling through the breath, linking the mind to the body by pausing and observing. On your next inhale, look forward, glide to upper push-up position to plank. Really make sure that your heels are stacked directly above your ankles. Draw up in through the core and pause here. You can lower the knees down and untuck the toes if you need to. Just making sure that you're still sending that heart forward. On your next exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Draw the elbows together. Exhale to release. Inhale up, another little baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. And then exhale to release. Tuck the toes. You can push up through hands and knees. I always like to do that and then almost send the hips back as if I'm going into child's pose, and then pull myself up, tucking the toes to lift the hips. It's like a little bit of a flow, pulling yourself up and out of the cobra position with your stomach on the ground. You push up through hands and knees, send the hips back, and then come forward with your whole weight, tuck the toes, lift the hips, send it on back. Some people push up through plank. Some people push up through hands and knees. I like to push up through those hands and knees, send the hips back, because it really stretches your lats. Your latissimus dorsi, which is a muscle that goes directly across your back, and is always super tight in the morning for me. And so doing this little movement of sending the hips back before you lift the hips to down dog is a way to allow my breath to flow more easily as I go through each flow, each vinyasa. The term vinyasa literally means linking breaths to movement. It's a sequence of movements where you link the breath. So hopefully you're all back in down dog. And if not, don't worry. Give you a couple more moments of pause here in the second down dog for us. On inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands at the top of your mat in a forward fold. Once again, pausing here. Breathing deeply and feeling the different areas of the backs of your legs light up. I did a ton of gardening yesterday, so this is definitely really nice for me. Slowly on your next inhale, rise halfway up for that halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up. There's the sun. Grab the left wrist with the right hand and exhale over to the right. Inhale, back up through center, switch the grip, exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up through center, bring the arms out wide, nice wingspan, forward fold all the way over. Back in your forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift, pause there, really sending the energy of the heart and the crown forward to maintain that flat back. Exhale to release. Step the feet back to upper push-up position. Hold, and begin to breathe. With every inhale, you draw the core up. With every exhale, find some softness in the face. Relax the tip of the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. On your next exhale, go ahead, bend the elbows in, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. You want to take your arms out wide off the mat so your fingers touch the ground. Inhale up again. This is called striking cobra. Exhale, release. Maybe you hover your hands off of your mat if your hands are still on your mat. To intensify this, bring the heels together, push the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale up with your hands lifted. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, tuck the toes. Push up through hands and knees. Maybe do the little sending the hips back motion, and then pull the weight forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Beautiful. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold right on down. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hand, step it back to upper push-up position. Pause in this upper plank, build some heat. Drawing the core up and in. Heels are stacked over the toes. Wrists are stacked under the shoulders. Draw in through the core every inhale. Exhale. Soften the space between the shoulders. It's a weird cue, right? All right, one more deep inhale through the core. Exhale, bend the elbows in, lower down. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up through hands and knees or through plank. Maybe do the little send the hips back. And then pull the weight forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips. On an inhale, raise your right leg to hip height. Look between your hands on an inhale. On the exhale, bring the foot forward, up in between the hands. You can lower the back knee down and untuck the toes or keep the toes tucked. You have a lot of different options here, or you can keep the back left leg up. Your feet should be in two different lanes here, so you got a lot of balance. So just make sure that you really build up this base before you inhale to rise. I have a feeling that by the end of the practice, I will be completely in the sun, which is kind of cool. So we're coming up into this crescent lunge. The knee is stacked directly over the ankle. The back knee can be up or down, so it can be down or up. I like to have my arms at cactus instead of up to frame the head because I think this is easier for me to breathe down here. I'm actually even going to take my arms back behind me for a nice little chest opener, little bind. Maybe look up. That's always a nice intensification. Slowly release. The arms lift up, look up, and then bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Lower the back knee down, untuck the toes. Slowly send the hips back over the left ankle, straightening the left leg, coming into a runner's lunge. Really flex through that right front foot. On an inhale, rebend the right knee, come back up, sweep the arms up, little mini back bend. Exhale, plant the hands, send the hips back. Extend the right leg, flex through the right ankle. On an inhale, rebend that right leg. If you guys can't hear me, please let me know. I have no idea. Tuck the back toes, lift up off the back knee. Now you're back in this low lunge position. Hike the left leg halfway up the mat. Now you're in pyramid pose. Your hands can come to the front right ankle if you want to make this more of a balance pose, or if you want blocks to maintain more of a flat back, you can do that. Or you can even just try to maintain the flat back, which means your hands are going to be hovering. Make sure you're sending energy through those fingertips if you are lifted. The closer you bring your hands to the ground in this position, the more you're going to feel it in the back of your leg. All right, bend a little deeply into that front right knee, and then on the inhale, bring the left leg up to meet the right. Now you're back in that forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up. Grab the left wrist with the right hand. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, back up, switch the grip. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up. Bring the arms down to your sides. Palms can face forward. And pause and breathe. If you haven't opened a window, I highly recommend it if you can. Inhale, lift the arms up, look up, sit the hips right back to chair. So in this chair position, your arms can be up framing the head, they can be down in cactus, they can come out in a counterbalance. Counterbalance is my personal favorite. They can be at your hips, they can be at heart center. Draw in through the stomach to take the curvature out of your low back. This protects your low back. Keep breathing. Firing up into those quads. Use the core. Draw it in. One more deep inhale. Soften the tops of the shoulders on the exhale. I lied. Another deep inhale here. And on this exhale, straighten the legs. Pour it out. Come back into forward fold. Inhale up for that halfway lift. And then exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back through upper push-up position. This is where you can flow through your vinyasa. So that plank to cobra, back to down dog. Or you can just hold plank if that works for you. Or you can just go right back to down dog. Whatever you choose to do, we'll all end up in down dog together. All right, on an inhale, lift the left leg to hip height. Look in between the hands. On your exhale, bring the foot in between the hands. Feet are in 2 different lanes for balance and base. The back right knee can be down or up. I actually really personally like to leave mine down. It gets more of a stretch in my front right hip, which is what we're looking for in this lunge, right? And then when you've got that base set up, you can inhale to rise. And pause. Maybe bring your arms back for that bind again. Really breathing into where you feel this the most. Maybe adjusting the back leg. And just noticing where you feel this through your breath. Inhale the arms up to frame the head. Look up, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Come up off of the back right knee if you haven't already. And then on an inhale, hike the right leg halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid. Hands can come to your left ankle. You can inhale up for that halfway lift. Extend the arms down toward the ground. And then if you want to exhale and release that and forward fold a little bit deeper, you'll feel that light up the whole back side of your left leg. Bring your fingertips toward the top of your mat, and on an inhale, bend into the front left knee, and then bring the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale up for that halfway lift, and exhale to release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair. Pausing and breathing here, really making sure you're activating through the core, sucking it in, pretending you're on a beach with all your friends. You suck that core in, right? Like you're getting a picture taken. That's that core activation we're looking for. Maybe sit the hips a little bit lower to really start to feel this position. We've been here for quite a few breaths. One more deep inhale through the core. Exhale, straighten the legs, pour it out. Inhale up for a halfway lift. And exhale to release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. And you can flow through your vinyasa, rinse that off. So whether you choose to go through all of the movements or you just go right back to down dog or even a child's pose, whatever you'd like. Pausing together when you get to down dog. On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open and stack the hips for that three-legged dog. Look in between the hands on an inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, sweep it right on through. Plant the shin down. We're coming into half pigeon on the right. So you're bringing that shin and knee down to the mat so they're flat. Coming into this hip opener. Hi, spider friend. Now, if you have any pain in your knee, bring the Bring the right ankle and the right foot closer towards your pelvis. It does not have to be parallel with the top of your mat. That's very, very difficult. And if this is enough for you here, maybe you tuck the back left toes. That definitely lights up a little bit more for me. You don't have to lower down though. You can stay lifted up in this half pigeon. And just pause there. Or you can lower down to your degree. Breathe very, very deeply here. Send the air right to this outer right hip. To come out of this, we're going to do something very different and cool that I love to do in my own personal practice when I'm at home. So you inhale, bring the hands back up toward the pelvis if you aren't still lifted up in this position. Hopefully you're still breathing. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to roll out into a middle split. So what that's going to look like, I'm going to end up facing away from you, but I'll turn around to face the camera. So what you're going to do is you're going to pour the weight into the outer right hip and kind of rotate the back left leg, and at the same time straighten the right leg out. Ta-da! So you go from bent knee, rolling out, 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 and then extending the right leg. And then you're in a nice middle split there. So it'll come to look like this. You can bring the pelvis forward, stay flexed through the foot, both feet really. Inhale the arms up, and then go ahead, reach forward, crawl down to your degree. Stay nice and flexed to protect the backs of the knees. You may even have to come off of your mat a little bit. And then crawl your hands forward. And stopping as soon as your inner thighs start to really talk to you. And pause and breathe here. Keep breathing. On inhale, crawl the hands back in towards your pelvis. Now we're going to come into this on the other side. So you're going to be facing the back of your mat. I turned around, so I'm going to still be facing you. So what you're going to do, you're going to bend the left knee in. This is kind of a little bit of split practice. So if you can't get into this, that's absolutely fine. Just go ahead and slowly make your way into pigeon on the left. So to come out of this middle split, you roll the back right leg. So right now it's open, the toes are pointing up. You're going to roll the inner arch down toward the ground and then come to the top of the right foot. Ta-da! Now you are back in pigeon on the left side. It's my personal favorite way to roll in and out of each side. And have a middle split in between. And you can stay here, up, lifted. Once again, if this causes any pain in your left knee, bring the foot closer to the pelvis. And you can pause here, or you can crawl down and lower down to your degree. Breathe very deeply, pause, and feel what's going on in the outer left hip. Is it tighter than the right one? Is it easier? Does it bring up emotion of any kind, or is your mind drifting because you don't like this pose? Or maybe something just pops into your head and you're not sure why it did. Whatever the case, come back to your breath. Let's crawl the hands back in toward the pelvis, coming back up if you didn't stay here to begin with. Maybe lift the arms up, little mini back bend. Oh, that's so lovely. And then bring the hands down. above that leg. Now we're going to come out of this differently. You're going to tuck the back right toes, lift up off the back knee, and then extend the left front leg back to meet the right and come into down dog. Really pause in this down dog and feel how different your legs might feel. If you need to pedal your feet and legs out, you can do that. But I invite you to stay still if you can and just breathe and feel the difference. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, bring them right down through heart center, forward fold. Inhale up for that halfway lift. From this halfway lift, bend the knees, sit the hips right back to chair. I love doing that because it's a way to get into a lower chair to begin with. If you start from standing, you never get this low. For those of you just joining us, good morning. Feel free to say hi, hop in. It's beautiful out. Open a window, get some water, and join us in chair pose. My hands are at heart center right now. Really drawing in that core. Let's do some twists here. So we're going to twist to the right. So bring the left elbow to the outer right knee. Really, you see instantly how my left knee pops out. You got to draw that back. Keep them in line. You can look out to the right. If you want to open your arms, you absolutely can. Or really press those hands together to try to get them toward the middle of your chest, toward the midline. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, untwist and release. Lift the hips high. Inhale, reach up, lift up all the way. Bring the hands down to heart center. Since we're outside, and since most of us would be, most of my friends, my personal friends and I, we would all be at Sterling right now. So let's give an homage to some trees, shall we? Hands at heart center. Pour the weight into the left foot. Come up to the toes of the right foot. Bring the right knee out so you're opening that hip. And then go ahead. You can release your hands. You can bring your left hand to your hip and then reach down with your right to grab that ankle and place it to wherever your tree might be today. So that could be, it could look like your foot could be at your ankle. It could be on your calf, or it can go above the knee into the inner thigh. Wherever you place this foot, do not place it on the knee, okay? And you can sway in the breeze. If you fall out, just come right back into it. Keep breathing. Draw in through the core. That gives you some stability in these poses. I think this one looks like a pine tree the most. All right, let's release the right knee. Keep the right leg lifted. Flex through the right ankle. And what we're going to do is we're going to come right into eagle pose. So from here, you're going to cross the right knee over the left. Begin to bend through the left leg, wrapping the ankle around as much as you can. Bring the right arm under the left and sit the hips back, coming into this eagle pose. Lift the elbows up, and then on an exhale, lower the hands away from the face. One more time, inhale, lift the elbows up. Woo! Maybe you fall out just like me. Lower the arms away from the face. Undo those legs, lift the right leg up, and then bring the right leg down to meet the left. Forward fold. Heel toe the feet out past hip distance, bringing the legs nice and wide, feet to the outer edges of the mat. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows and sway and ragdoll just for a little bit of a release here. That was quite a bit of balance we just did. Come back to stillness. Release the arms down. Heel toe the feet back in under your hip points. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Forward fold right back down again. Inhale up for that halfway lift. And then bend the knees. Sit the hips right back into that chair. Super low chair. Because in order to get into this twisted chair that we're doing, you kind of have to sit really, really low, almost so that your belly touches the tops of your thighs. So to come into this twist, take the right elbow to the outside edge of the left knee, draw the right hip and the right knee back, tracking them in place. Maybe you open the arms, or you keep the hands pressed together, pushing to deepen the twist. One more deep inhale. And exhale, untwist, lift the legs, coming back into that forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift, pause. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, bring the hands to heart center. Let's do that balance sequence on the right now, shall we? Maybe get a sip of water beforehand. Hi, Taylor. All right, so to come into this on the right leg, so we just did it on the left, right? So pour the weight into the right foot, come up to the tippy toes of the left, open the left hip, the left knee. Face camera a little more for you. And then go ahead, right hand to right hip, reach down with the left hand, place it on your ankle, on your calf, or use that hand to bring it above the knee. Remember, we're not placing this foot on the knee. And press into the inner thigh. This right side for me is always really, really difficult. So if you find that one side is more difficult than the other, really try to find a little bit of peace, not so much judgment, right? Usually when we can't do one thing on one side, we get frustrated. And then it starts an inner dialogue, which takes us out of our body. Really pressing the right thigh into that left foot is what gives me that stability to make this happen. This side is not nearly as graceful as the other one. That's just for me personally, though. Coming back into our pine tree. All right, slowly release the left foot from the right thigh. Keep the left leg lifted. Left ankle is flexed. Now we're going to come into eagle on this right side. So cross the left leg over the right. Bend in the right leg. Wrap the ankle of the left foot around as much as you can. Bring the left arm under the right. Breathe. If you fall out of it, no big deal. I just fell out of it. You just come right back in. All right, to come out of that, slowly unwind, lift the left leg up, plant it down to meet the right. Forward fold, pour it out. Heel toe the feet out to the outer edge of the mat. Grab your opposite elbows, sway and ragdoll. Release the hands, heel toe the feet back in under your hip points. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Flow through a vinyasa or take it right back to child's pose. We're all going to meet in child's pose. Let me check the time here. Awesome, we're doing great. So after flowing or just pushing your hips right back to child's pose, surrender the forehead to the mat. And just pausing and feeling what's going on in your body. Oh, hi, kitty. All right, we're going to come into thread the needle. So, your arms are extended forward. On an inhale, lift the right arm up, look up, and then sweep the right arm under the left armpit. Bring the right cheek to the mat and pour your body weight into this outer right shoulder. And just pause here and feel the weight of your body, this beautiful passive gravity-induced stretch, pressing the weight of your body to stretch the outer deltoid, stretching your lats, your tricep. On an inhale, bring the right arm back out long with the left, surrender the forehead. And then on an inhale, lift the left arm up, look up, and then sweep the left arm under the right armpit. Bring the cheek to the mat. On an inhale, bring the left arm out long to meet the right at the top of your mat again. Bring the hands in toward the pelvis, walking them in. Come back up to tabletop, bringing the knees underneath the hips. Your wrists are stacked under your shoulders. Maybe you do a couple of these beautiful kind of circles where you're lowering the hips. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, sending the hips back. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, sending the hips back. Come back to neutral. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, look between the hands. Exhale, bring the foot right in between the hands. Set up this base, feet are in two different lanes. And then inhale, rise up for that full crescent. Swivel the back heel down, open up for warrior two. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Exhale, pause. Inhale, use the core to come back forward, bring the right elbow to the right knee. Left arm comes up for side angle. Stay nice and light in the connection between the elbow and the knee. You don't want to just dump all the weight. On an inhale, rise back up for warrior two. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Exhale, pause. Sweep the arms down, cartwheel them down, come back up to this low lunge, so you come back up to the toes of the back foot. Bring the left hand to the inner arch of the right foot, twist open, lift up with the right arm. Bring the right arm down, and then on an inhale, hike the left foot halfway up the mat, coming back into pyramid. Pausing here and breathing, sending the breath to the back of the leg. Reach your fingertips forward toward the top of your mat, so they're coming away from the right foot. Bend into the front right knee. On an inhale, lift the back toes up off the mat, coming into a standing split. And then if you would like to rise up for warrior three, you may do so, bringing the hands to heart center, or flying them back behind you, or flying them forward. Or if you need to stay in that standing split, that's fine. If you're up in warrior three, one more deep inhale, stay nice and light, and then exhale. Release the fingertips, come back into that standing split. Lower the left foot down to meet the right. You're at the forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up, sit the hips back to chair. Pause and breathe. Really engage through that core here this time. One more deep inhale through the core. Exhale, straighten the legs, release. Inhale up for a halfway lift. And then exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Flow through a vinyasa, and we'll all meet in down dog. All right, let's do that on the left side now. So, back in down dog. On an inhale, raise the left leg to hip height. Look between the hands. Exhale, sweep the leg right on through, setting up your base. When you're ready, inhale to rise. Full crescent. Swivel the back heel down, open up for warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, bring it back. Exhale fully. Inhale, come back forward using your core. Bring the left elbow to the left knee and open up. Hello, sunshine. Look down at the right knee. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Come up to the toes of the back right leg. Bring the right hand to the inner arch of the left foot. Twist open with the left. Bring the hand back down. On an inhale, hike the right leg halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid. Pause here and breathe here. I love this pose. Oh my goodness, I could hang out here for so long. All right, walk the fingertips forward toward the front of the mat. Bend into the left knee and then inhale, lift up and off with the right toes. Stay flexed through that back ankle. And then if you want to come up for warrior three on the left, have at it. Ooh, ground is really uneven in my defense. It's hard to balance. And if you're still back down and standing splits, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you're squaring your hips, whether you're in standing splits or in warrior three. And that helps when you turn the toes down toward the earth. That internal rotation is what squares the hips. If you're still up in warrior three, go ahead, lower the fingertips back down, and then on an exhale, lower the right leg back down to meet the left. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. And we'll all meet in down dog. In your down dog here. Inhale up to both tippy toes. Exhale, lower the heels and the inner arch over to the left. Inhale, back up through center, and then bring the heels over to the right. Inhale, back up through center, lower the heels to the earth. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk or jump, feet to hands. Heel toe the feet out past hip distance, and then angle the toes so they're pointing out toward the outer corners of your mat. Bend the hips deeply. Come on down to Malasana squat. We'll come into some twists here. Release your fingertips down to the earth in front of you. Bring the right arm up and away, twisting, opening to the right. Release back down. Bring the right fingertips to the earth. Lift up and away with the left. Release back down. Let's do that again. Lift up and away with the right. Release back down. Lift up and away with the left. And release back down. Let's come on up to do some core work, shall we? So, from this, you're in this really deep squat. You're just gonna rock right back and lower on down, and then lift your legs up, coming into boat. Opening those feet, so there's a nice V there, a nice Y. The arms can be up, parallel with the legs, or they can be up under the knees, supporting the legs. Staying nice and tall, lifted through the chest. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Maybe lift the legs a little bit higher. Lower the feet down, lower the hands down behind you, the fingertips point towards your glutes. Inhale, lift the pelvis up, relax the neck back. And then slowly on an exhale, lower the hips to the earth. Extend the legs out long in front of you. Stay nice and flexed through both ankles. Inhale the arms up to frame the head. Exhale, seated forward fold, reaching for the feet. On an inhale, slowly rise back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Let the knees open like a butterfly or a book. The fingers interlace and then come around the toes. Stay nice and tall here. Pausing here. I love the way that my shoulders feel in this pose because there is a beautiful pull from my hands all the way up to the top of my shoulder. Together, inhale and get tall, maybe look up a little bit. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows and pull. You're thinking about pulling the belly button to the big toe. So you maintain a flat back. You're not rounding through the shoulders. You're not becoming a little ball, right? You're staying nice and flat through the back. The collarbones are spread open wide. The heart space is open. Release that and inhale to rise back up. One more time. Inhale to get tall and then exhale. Bend the elbows, pull the belly button toward the big toe. Inhale to rise back up. Release the hands from the toes. Bring the left leg out long. Keep the right sole of the foot pressing against the inner left thigh. So coming into a single leg stretch here, yeah? Turn your shoulders toward the extended left leg. Inhale, both arms up, and then exhale. Go ahead and reach down. And pause and feel the stretch in the back of the leg here. So your left ankle is still nice and flexed. You can put a footprint on the wall in front of you. Slowly inhale to come back up. Bring the right leg out long. Bring the left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. Twist the shoulders toward the right extended leg. Inhale the arms up to frame the head. And then exhale, bow forward. Pause here. Make sure you're staying flexed through this right ankle. Lowering the forehead to the shin or the knee. Slowly release that and inhale to come back up. Bring the legs out long in front of you. Maybe give them a little pitter patter, a little windshield wiper. Bring the arms out parallel over the legs. Tuck the tailbone, scoop the core out, and begin to lower down. Make sure that your feet are remaining flexed. This keeps your legs activated, which helps your core to stay active. And you're slowly lowering down. All the way until your shoulders reach the mat. When your shoulders reach the mat, bring the arms up out, long overhead. Point the toes, full body stretch. Exhale, bring the arms down along your sides. On an inhale, bring both knees into your chest, roll around, massage your sacrum against the earth. Cross your right leg over your left knee. Bring your arms out long in a capital T off the mat, and then lower the legs toward the right. You can look out over the left arm if that's comfortable for your neck. On an inhale, use the core to bring the legs back up through center. Switch the legs, and then lower the knees over to the left, looking out over the right arm if that's comfortable for your neck. Use your core on an inhale to bring the legs back up through center. Uncross the left from the right. Roll around a little ball again. Maybe bring the, so take your knees wide, reach down and grab the outer edges of your feet and roll back and forth in happy baby. Maybe extend the legs straight or keep them bent. Feet flexed. And then go ahead, extend both legs up. I like to take my hands to the back sides of my knees, or I will lift my pelvis up a little bit and place my hands under my hips. And just extend your legs up toward the sky. Feet can be flexed or pointed. Maybe you roll your ankles a little bit and get into the front of your ankle. Slowly begin to bend the knees in toward the chest. Lower the feet to the earth. Bring the arms out long by your sides here. Walk the ankles and the heels in toward the glutes as if you could touch them. And on an inhale, lift the hips, coming into bridge. You can roll the arms underneath your chest, coming into a bind, interlacing the fingers at the small of the back on the ground. Squeeze the knees together. Breathe. Relax the glutes. Lift through the core and the quads. To come out of this, come up to the tippy toes. Inhale the arms up overhead. Slowly lower down through all the vertebrae until your hips are back on the ground. Then you lower the heels, bring the arms down along your side. We'll do that together one more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Maybe interlace the arms, roll them under the chest if you'd like to. Squeeze the knees together. And hang out here for as long as you want. And you know that when you come out, you come up to the tippy toes, lift the arms overhead and roll down. But that's totally up to you. You can hang out there as long as you want. You can do that again, or if full wheel is in your practice, I invite you to do that now. So bringing the wrists up toward the ears. And then lifting up. And same, to come out, you're up on your tippy toes, you lower the head and shoulders, bring the arms down, walk the feet out, lowering down all the way. Take the soles of your feet together, let the legs open like a book. In this Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet are together, the knees are open like a book. Just stretching out the front of the hips one final time. Perfect. Take the hands to the outer edge of the knees and then close them like a book. Extend your legs out long. Feet naturally splay open. The arms are down along your sides. And welcome to Shavasana. This is a period of silence, and I will bring you out of it with my voice when we are done. Enjoy the birds, enjoy the sun, enjoy the breeze. Shavasana. start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can stay laying down, bring one hand to your stomach and one hand to your heart. Together, take a long breath in, and then a big sigh out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this is the first of many outside sessions, and I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you all next week. Thank you.